Hello everybody, Glitch Reaper here. I'm back for some more Lycanites equipment combos, and yes, this is a humongous pickaxe. Well, kind of. Well, the pickaxe parts are definitely enormous, but still. I mean, it's a battle axe that will work very fantastically as a pickaxe. And I did kind of get a little inspired by somebody's design on the Lycanites Discord. So I thought, now what would that really be like? And so I decided to use it, and I've given it a special name. This is Lifeminer. You'll be mining for your enemy's life energy with it. Yeah, it's gonna be like super wicked. But yeah, as usual, I'll be going over the basics of everything about this, including like the blocks you'll be needing, the parts you'll be needing, where you're going to be hunting for them. So it's going to be kind of the usual thing. Plus, this thing acts as a super. I was totally going to mix some interesting words there. Super mungus pickaxe. I mean, come on, it's ginormous. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to actually mine with it to show it off, but the mining area is kind of huge. 15 by 8 by 8. Oh my gosh. That would just... You could shave a mountain with that thing. So this is going to be just wild. As usual, you'll be needing these blocks whenever you're working with any Lycanites equipment. The Lesser Equipment Forge is basically, you just take a regular crafting table and add a wooden axe to it. To get the Greater Equipment Forge, you take the Lesser Equipment Forge and add an iron block. And to get the Master Equipment Forge, which, as I like to say, is pretty much the only one you'll ever really need in the end, is its final form, is take a Greater Equipment Forge and add a diamond block to that. You'll also be needing an Equipment Infuser to get them leveled up, and that requires a Lesser Equipment Forge and 8 Lapis Lazuli around it in the crafting table. Remember, that's actually 8 pieces, not 1. I just put that up there as a reminder. But yeah, this is how you level up your parts. You put your part in here, you put the charges in here, and it gives them the experience they need. So that's how you get them all up to their highest level. I always go with 3 whenever I'm doing my demonstrations. And for more than one reason, because that's pretty much what a maxed out version will be like. And because of this thing's shape, I'm just saying that it's a little trickier to get the perfect display this time. Because the crystals poke out so far. This is like literally like the one best way to show it off right now, because even poor Nato the potato, it's kind of like he's using it for a giant toothpick. Like, your potato, what would you be eating that you need to get out of your mouth? Like seriously, what are you trying to pick out of there? And of course, some other things, it's not quite lining up. I've had mixed luck with displaying Lycanites equipment, but it's because the models are so dynamic. I mean, they're pretty much made on the fly whenever you add equipment parts together, so sometimes the final design is wackier than other times, and in this case, just the sheer size of it in proportions have made it where not many things quite fit, which is kind of funny when you think of it. Well, those still let them rotate as usual, but again, the bottoms are by design in the pedestals stuck into them, so you wouldn't be able to see the whole thing. It's not like we have a transparent pedestal. And even over there, it's kind of stuck into the ground, so let's face it, the display's not exactly perfect with this one, but it'll be cool. It'll be cool. Anyhow, as for the parts we'll be going over, you'll be needing an int arm as a base part. Now, I've mentioned this before. If you're looking for ints, the best way to do it is to either use a Lycanites equipment that has axe capability, or to use a vanilla axe or something that you know counts as a vanilla axe, preferably on vanilla trees. This is to give it the most compatibility. Now, I have seen ints pop off of modded trees before, but whenever you're trimming down a tree, it's preferable to do it basically breaking the leaves first, although I'm not sure if you can do that by hand and an int pops out. I've never had it happen to me that way before, but I'm not saying it's impossible either. Also, sometimes they will just plain appear in a forest. In fact, if you've got Twilight Forest, that's a good way to find ants. Is just go to the Twilight Forest, they will show up naturally. Just just go with that, and you'll probably be fine. But you're hunting ants to get this part. It is the base part, so it's where you start, and it also adds leech. And that's why we're having Lifeminer, is we will be harvesting a lot of enemy health very soon. Now for a pommel, we've got a Vespid Stinger. I've pointed out before that if you've got mob events turned on, that they will come to you sometimes in the event known as the Swarm. There's events that other mobs like ints come up with, etc., but this is one that you might have a harder time finding if you're not having events enabled, and that's because Vespids usually only show up in jungles, and some people have had issues finding a good jungle at the right time, so just saying, you might have to go out of your way, but when in doubt, you can always use the classic ways of finding biomes, like, say, boating around the edge of continents until you find the right one. It's a classic, and it still works. So, happy hunting, both for the jungle biome and the stinger itself. Vespids are very large bee-like creatures, so yes, they'll be trying to sting you. An ant, well, you might have heard the various descriptions of ants. They're basically a walking tree. Yeah, Ventoraptor Skull will be the head part, and this is where you get the axe part slots. And that's what gives this thing its big, well, in this case, it's more of a combat pickaxe than it is an axe. But yeah, there's a little wiggle room for that, because it is an axe part. Now, Ventoraptor Skull does add a little damage on its own and a bit of range, so it helps a little bit on those aspects, but most of the quality is going to be on those pickaxe parts in this case, because those crystals will be giving it most of its punch. This will add weakness on your target, so you will slow them down on damaging you, in addition to dealing a lot of damage on them. So this one is one of those things that's kind of a defensive weapon too, just because you're weakening them. But remember, weakness only really applies on melee attacks unless otherwise special to the mob in some way. So this is good for getting up close and personal, but also knocking them very far back. Because this will be good for wall juggles, and I'll be demonstrating that in a little while. But yeah, Ventoraptors are found on plains. They show up in plains from time to time, and they're also tameable as mounts, and they have this nifty glide ability and good speed. So after you've tamed one, you'll probably be hunting the rest for their skulls. Of course, you never know, you might find a better one, one of a nice color or something, but still, Ventoraptors are what you're going for out on the plains, and they do look like a big raptor, so they're a little hard to miss. They have a nice feathery coat, too, so big blue raptor coming to attack you. So, yeah. The Vapula Crystals, this is going to be something you'll be finding underground as you mine, and because they count as pickaxes themselves, that means after you get mining with this, you're probably going to just wind up finding more of them in a runaway reaction. Now, the thing about it is this will add aphasia, and that kind of keeps targets from really using items, or at least it's supposed to. I'm still not entirely sure if he's got it where witches will stop using potions. But the big thing here is this adds some considerable knockback, good damage. It'll make the final product really good, and because I'm using two of them, they both have a sweep of 180, this means this thing's doing a full 360 sweep whenever it's done. And it harvests as a pickaxe, and on top of that, on hit, you might be throwing out crystal shards. It's a 50-50, and it's not something you can activate on your own, it's just on impact with the enemy. So, this thing is pretty wicked. Vapula, whenever you are going for them, remember that there's a big distinction between Geonox and Vapula in terms of what you're mining. Geonox come out of blocks that drop themselves, like iron ore. Vapula come out of blocks that drop an item, like diamond ore. So, is a pretty good thing between those two. Also, remember, if ever you liberate one, they'll probably smash the surrounding blocks and might mine them for you. So, you could sometimes get a little cheesiness in there with the mining. If you're maybe mining some coal right next to some diamond, you might wind up finding yourself a diamond. Of course, they also drop some good stuff themselves other than just the Vapula crystals, so you'd be surprised whenever you're mining what you're going to be getting. for your loot. So, happy hunting. Now it's time for the classic assembly, renaming, and the demo. So putting in the int arm, the Vespid stinger, the Ventoraptor skull, and the Vapula crystal. So because I'm using two of them, it doesn't matter what order I put them in. So, yep, we're about ready. Oh, as another note, I think, I'm not entirely sure, I may have figured out what my settings are that I need to use most, but there's still a drop in audio volume whenever I'm doing certain programs like games and stuff and trying to record them. So I'm still working that out with my new setup, just so you know. Okay, so I have my beautiful Lifeminer set up here. So you can see they're the identical one, so it's just how I started. Now I'm going to have to find a nice spot to demo this. Ooh. Well, what do you know? Exposed stone. That's not going to last long. Okay, let's go into survival here, because remember these things have some interesting ways of working. One of which is just the fact that whenever you mine blocks, it has an automatic vein miner-like function, but if you hold sneak, it will only mine the ones you're aiming at. But you can see what happens when you don't. It is awesome. Like, that much was mined in one good break. And it exposed a lot of stuff. In fact, I might actually use this as a as an arena a bit, because I want the spot to be able to juggle. And at the same time, I'm going to try to do it slightly confined. Yeah, because this doesn't have a specific thing about it in terms of, like, use-click functions, I'm going to be able to do this. Wait, did I use that? No, I didn't use that. There we go. That's better. Okay, now, for my opponent, I'm going to be using the Crazy Spider. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted some walls to bounce him off of. So, that just kind of all goes together. And now it's, did I really just pick up another andesite? I did. I really did. Okay. Anyhow, let's put down this guy, and then get, well, might want to do that a little closer to my... Reorder the items a second there. If any enemy interferes with this, they're going to wind up being another demonstration target. And they won't be appreciating it, because they will be flying, because this thing has a huge amount of knockback. 19 points of damage, 2.4 attack speed, knockback 4. I mean, in a full sweep. I mean, seriously. And all the things that it adds is just going to be ridiculous. I mean, the Vespid Stinger adds not only penetration to ramp up the damage, it adds poison. So, anything that can be poisoned is just going to be obliterated. Where'd you go? There you are. Wow, it's so fast. I just casually hit that and just rampaged it. I just dropped him like a rock. Yeah, this guy has a lot of health, so I'm demonstrating the fact I can get a ton of damage off this. So just watch those huge hits. Yeah, he is just getting crushed. I almost dug up another huge amount of ore right there. Yeah, it's hitting for 33 at a time whenever I... He's just... Okay, you've got yourself trapped because you're not coming down right, and I'm just pummeling you from here, so you are going to just get smashed in like a few more hits. Because this thing is going to hit you like a truck. Or I can just decide to crit you for a big finishing blow. Whatever works. Okay, that was... Did anybody see the size of that critical hit? Because it had to have been enormous. So I was hitting for 33 casual. And then I got bonus damage. So that had to hit him like a truck. You know, one of those trucks that carry other trucks? It had to have hit like that. And forget the semi, it hit like a truck. Trying to get out of here. After I kind of caused a tremendous wreckage to appear. Can I get out of here? Maybe I can. Either way, that's one gigantic spider down. Crazy spider has been defeated by a ginormous hammer. Well, pickaxe thing, but you get the idea. I thought I was gonna have to detoxify myself because it was a spider, but I guess I forget that he doesn't technically use poison on you, or at least not that much. Or was it that my other... Did I have a wrong thing? Maybe I didn't need the immunizer because I forgot I had an antidote charm. Okay, I forget whether or not he technically normally would poison you, but I was officially overprepared. Yeah, I kind of crushed him like a pancake with this pickaxe, so I kind of mined a spider to death. Uh, oh well. I'd say that demonstrates it pretty well. I mean, he had... I think that was like 2,000 hit points, and that did not take long at all. So he's officially down. I didn't get anything extra special from him, but he went poof really good. So yeah. Anyhow, I think that kind of demonstrates it pretty well there. Okay. So oh, wait. I know that sound. I may have to deal with something off screen. Oy. I might have to deal with a Roa. It happens. Anyhow, I'll be logging off and hopefully getting rid of that Roa before it destroys my array of stuff over there, because it always knocks down my item frames. But anyhow, I'll be logging off. Hope to hear from you all later, and bye for now, everybody.